You got schooled with Penny and Martin, the real and raw about today's education,
Listener discretion advised, not for the faint of heart.
nor the easily offended. Welcome to episode 7 of You Got Schooled. I am Penny.
And I am Martin.
And we have entitled this episode Language Faux Pas.
For the English language arts teachers.
That's us. That's us.
We got it.
Right. You have no idea what goes on behind the scenes here. So collectively, we have 18 years of teaching between us.
Is it 18? It's 28.
I'm so sorry. It is 28.
Again, we're language arts teachers, not math teachers.
Do you like my new mic?
It's
You
beautiful.
like it? It
Does it,
changes colors.
like,
What are you doing?
well, when you did it changed colors when you moved
I
your
don't
hand.
think it does.
It's
I
not
think
motion?
It just goes through a cycle.
No.
So pretty.
It is pretty.
Anyway, we've been together. I mean, not together, but we've been teaching a combined total of 28 years.
Yes.
And in that amount of time, you are going to have some word blunders come out.
Yes. Us
Us.
as teachers.
Not
I mean,
just-
students do too, but we're talking
oh, yeah. But we're talking
specifically
us.
about us.
We are the quote unquote mature, responsible one in the room. Most of the time. Right? And every once in a while, when you're in this biz, something comes out.
Slip of the lip.
Slip of the lips.
Slip
Is
of
that
the
a
lip.
rat song or something?
That's another inappropriate song.
Okay, never. I don't know. But anyway, so faux pas. There are definitely things that we say that we don't mean to say
Right.
because we're human.
Yes.
So we have remembered some of those,
Yes.
and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes.
Our faux pas.
Our faux pas.
There's too many of student faux pas to even talk about. So
And it's been almost a full week.
good night. This has been a long week.
Yes. Yeah, that was just Monday.
Yeah. All
IPS
right.
conferences. They were
Yes.
great.
Individual plans of study. So that's really cool. Let's just take a
Oh,
minute
okay.
for that. Okay. So we have what's called an advisor base or an advisory period where we have the same students
Every day.
every day, all
All
4 years
Mhm.
that they're in high school. So they're kind of like our little family. Each teacher kind of runs their advisory differently.
Yes.
Right. Some are kind of wild. Some have family days like
Yes.
Martin. Some are kind of subdued like
Like
mine
yours.
is. But we get to really build relationships with those students and they stay in our classroom during that time
Yes.
for all 4 years. Right. So every year they have what's called an individual plan of study conference. Do you want to take it from there?
Yeah. So these conferences are not just a parent-teacher conference. They're student-led.
Mhm.
The students put together a presentation. It used to be on paper. This year, it was kind of mandatory that all students take it through like their actual presentation, slideshow.
Mhm.
And they're discussing with their parents, letting them know what their goals are for the remainder of their year this year, what it is going to be for next year, and future plans within the next 5 years.
And they have to get up and present this to their parents during their conference, which was on Monday, which hits the state standard of
Yes.
speaking and listening and that kind of
And
thing. So-
these conferences are mandatory. So it's sometimes our first time meeting their parents.
sometimes
So it was, mine were wonderful. Like
mine did a good job.
It was a really good, probably my favorite parent teacher conference I've had.
Yeah.
So
It's fun. And it's fun to see your students up and advocating for their own education
Yes.
and talking about the things that they're excited to do in
their
their future,
plans,
their
yeah.
plans.
So
So,
good
yeah.
job.
Yeah. So anyway, we were here on Monday, but it was not a normal school day.
No.
So it wasn't a full week, although I was even talking to a student today and she said this week seems to have dragged on forever and ever and ever. I kind of agreed with her.
Yeah. Now
So,
looking back, thinking it was a full week, and one day we didn't have you guys. So
yeah.
yeah.
So, shall we tackle this list that we have
Let's
here? It's a pretty short list. I mean, in 28 years, you forget about all of the blunders of your mouth that you do,
Yes.
or the things that you try not to do. Do you want to go first? Or do you want to go me to go first?
I'll go first because I think actually this one is both of us.
Which one?
The top one.
This
Do we
one?
want to just work our way down?
Sure.
Okay. So there is a magical number that gets teenagers all giddy constantly.
We don't have to say it. do
We're
we?
not going to say the number.
Okay, good.
Okay. There's multiple ways of how to handle it. I typically play dumb. So they'll say this specific number.
Just,
You want me to say it?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Because then we're not going to be able to get the examples if
No.
we don't, right?
So today we're learning about, well, they're spinning for their genetic disorders. They have to do a genetic disorder presentation as their unit final, and they get up and they randomly select a number that is associated with the genetic disorder just to keep it kind of fair where somebody's not picking one and then we run out of them. And so I had two gentlemen come up during one of my biology classes, and they're like, I hope I get 69. And so trying to keep a straight face, they start chuckling with each other, kind of like what we just did. And I just look at them and I go, man, why was that so funny? And they look at me and they're like, I don't, why was that funny? And just cut them down. But it's a constant issue.
It's constant.
Constant issue.
Sometimes I think my mind goes there before my students' minds go there.
Keep your straight, because we're
Right?
planning for it.
I know, but like, even still, I'm thinking to myself, is that a sexual innuendo?
Yes.
They don't even. They're like, they don't. They just gloss right over it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh, I don't know if you're like that, but I'm like, I wonder if I'm gonna have to
Explain.
fight this down.
Yeah.
Am I gonna have to dodge giggles and snickers?
Yes.
So all of the time, it seems like at least once a year. That for me, I guess that's all of the time. But there's usually a day that we're reading. It's usually second semester, and we are hitting the Odyssey. I haven't the Odyssey on here twice on this list.
Maybe
Danged
that's
Odyssey.
taboo.
And I know that the excerpts that we're reading start on this page number.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about to say that page number. And
Well, you're
so
trying to keep them on track.
I am trying to keep them on track because let's just face it. It's like you're gearing up for it. You know what it's, you know what's going to happen,
Mhm.
right? So this is always my go-to. Now they're going to know if they're watching. All right.
Earmuffs.
All right, everybody turn to page 68. So then they're shuffling. You hear them shuffling. What page was that? 68. Turn
Hold
to
on,
page
I'm not there
68.
yet.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm like, is everybody there?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I made a mistake. Flip the page, one more page. That's the page we're supposed to start on.
Okay.
Very rarely do they pick up on what I have just done, but I will do anything to keep away.
So now you've got to say, turn to page 67.
I know.
Okay,
Oh,
no. It's 2 pages.
2 pages. No, I went 2 pages so wrong.
Or go to 70. Never
Yeah.
mind. Flip back.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not where we started. Oh, that's not where the story starts. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Okay.
Okay.
What's the next one? Do you have one that you want to do? It seems like most all of these are mine.
Yeah, maybe I just don't pay attention. I don't know. My husband sometimes says that my mind is like a teenager.
It's kind of hard not to be when you teach teenage.
Yeah, so
I say they keep us young. I usually don't. I'm like, you
Yeah.
just keep me young. You keep me young.
so thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do my projector one?
That's fine, and then I'll do my projector one.
Okay.
That's the crucible right here.
So I had a projector in my classroom here a few years back, and kind of like the ones
Here or at another school?
at another school.
Okay.
Kind of like the ones that we got rid of.
Oh, okay.
So
Like a
they were
Prometheum board type
Kind
of
of like
thing.
a Prometheum board, but mine was like a full screen.
Gotcha.
And I'm showing a video, and it's going off of a novel that we had read. And so I like to kind of show the visual, because a lot of our kids
yes,
are
visual
over the auditory.
Yep.
And so I wanted them to have reference. Well, I forgot about one specific scene in this where usually I would fast forward. I have them all written down while I was up walking around the classroom, just monitoring, making sure kids were doing
like
what they
you're
were supposed to be doing.
You're doing what you're supposed to do.
And I forgot about this one scene. And so I run over as the naked individual is walking down this area in the woods. And I couldn't unplug or it would crash everything. So I'm standing in front of the projector as it's projecting on the screen.
And now it's on
And then
you.
now it's fully on me. So I have a naked individual on my body, and I'm kind of moving around, like trying to distort the image. So I don't get embarrassed. I really don't. But after that, I was very questioning what I had done. Like, why was I getting up, walking around when I passively knew that this was coming up?
On earth was I doing what I've been told to do by walking around the room?
And so
Why do I do that?
The kids were so good. And I mean, they were upper level kids. And so they were so good about it. And it was a chuckle, but it was just like, yep, I just projected a naked individual onto myself. And
How long did it last?
Probably 4.
Infinity.
It felt that way. 4 or 5 seconds, but still enough that I'm
Bless your
hoping.
heart.
Well, and the bad thing is I'm so short that it's like right here. So I don't know where any part was on my body. Yeah. So there's one of mine. That was more of a bodily than a
mouth. That's
a
okay.
blurb.
That's all right.
So.
I had one kind of like that, only it's not like that. I am seriously, it is mortifying to me to think about something like that happening in my classroom. Like, I am sweating right now just thinking about that happening. We read in American Lit, we read The Crucible every year.
I know where it's going.
And when we're done, we watch the movie. And so I pull it up. It's the one with Winona Ryder, I believe.
Nice one.
Yeah. And if you know The Crucible, it starts off where all of the young girls, young and old, well, not old girls, but, you know, the teenagers and the girls in Salem are down in the woods, quote unquote, casting spells for the boys to fall in love with them, right? And there is part of the scene that as they are doing all of this, whatever, you know, casting their spells, this one girl rips her dress off and she is all in her birthday suit. And so I've got it down to a science, right?
You've got that time.
Down to a science that when we had our regular Prometheum boards and I had my cord plugged in, I just go bloop, right out. And you could still hear everything that was going on, but you couldn't see anything. And all you heard in my class was, "Oh, what? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Oh, let us see," type of thing.
Yep, those teenagers.
I know. It's I'm like, what's happening? What's happening now?
Just
Flo?
listen. Just listen.
She's almost gone. Let us see. Then I'll plug it back in. Oh. They get really mad. Anyway, that also happens in the Odyssey. So we show a little bit of the Odyssey too. Do you want to tackle this one right here?
Yeah, I can.
just went over this with my freshmen.
I finally got my juniors to quit chuckling at this.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't have any of my freshmen chuckle at this year, but it's always in the back of my mind, like, you've got to be prepared
Yep.
for the chuckles and the that happens.
My reading class doesn't. I mean, at first they did, but now it's like, okay, Miss Martin will,
Yeah.
kind of call me out if I chuckle at it. So
Yeah.
we teach in English language arts plot structure, and so
Plot diagram.
Yeah, so you got your flat
little
line
legs,
and down here and then back here. Okay, so we've got this little hill thing
Right.
that
You have your exposition.
Yep,
And
then
your rising action.
And then at the very, very top, I don't want to say tip, at the very, very top, it's called the climax. And it's the most exciting part of the story.
The highest emotional, intense part of your story.
Yes. And it seems to always spark a bunch of chuckles and little nudges, mainly by the boys over the girls. But oh, they said climax. And so it's just like most exciting part of the story.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe that's where they originally got the sexual coin for.
I don't know. I don't have
know.
the slightest idea. I try not to think about it.
I don't know. So
Yeah.
that's another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not having any issues anymore.
I did not
over-
have issues this year
with this freshman class.
with the freshman class.
Awesome. That makes
Good
me
job,
happy.
freshman class.
You're really good.
Unless they were doing it behind my back or something and I didn't know. And they've even brought it right out in the open. Not the as far as ELA, English
Word-
language
word
arts is
blurps.
concerned, right? I'll be like, okay, what is the highest emotional point in the story?
And they'll
climax there, and it's like,
And they just let it go?
They just let it go.
Good.
So way to be
Oh,
mature.
applause.
Applause.
Claps. Are you gonna do that one?
I'm gonna do this one.
All right. You don't want to do the other one?
I am scared to do both of them.
You could always give the page numbers.
What?
Not the top page numbers. You could tell them, and they could go and read it on their own.
I know.
If it makes you
Okay.
feel uncomfortable, don't do it.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm a human being, and it
Mhm.
happens, right? We have a big Edgar Allan Poe unit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this happened here. I think this happened at my previous school.
Okay.
I actually think it was when my kiddo was in my class. I'm gonna have to ask him. I hope it wasn't. Anyway, we usually read three. It's for freshman level. We usually read 3 stories
From
Edgar-
Poe?
From Poe, The Telltale Heart, The Raven, Nevermore. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weekend weary.
No.
And The Cask of Amontillado, which is my favorite. Okay. And one year I was reading, because I read to the class because it's that control thing that I have. I want them to make sure, like, I want you guys to grasp what is going on in
Right.
this story. Okay. And I want to preface this by saying my grandma, my maternal grandma, Marie, God rest her soul, she was an actress. And she would do readings. She traveled around in a Chautauqua group from town to town to town.
Really?
Yeah, they'd set up their tents and they'd act their plays and their musicals out and they'd rip them down, kind of gypsy-esque, and they'd travel to the next town.
That should be an extra credit.
Oh, okay. What
What?
Chautauqua is?
Yeah.
There's your extra credit. Chautauqua. First one on Monday in my room to tell me. Okay. But when I would go spend weekends or a week at my grandparents' farm, that's what my grandma and I would do. Like
Do readings?
She instilled this whole entire creative music, theater,
Aw.
theatrics, acting kind of thing into me. I remember on Saturday nights, I'd get all dressed up and they would put Hee Haw and Lawrence Welk on, and I'd go stand on their avocado green ottoman that had, goldenrod yellow tassels coming down the corner, and I would stand on it and I'd act out everything that was going on. And so that whole acting theater bug has always
been in you.
been in me. So I love reading stories. And so I am into the cast of Amontillado, and I'm taking on the characters' roles and the voices and the highs and the lows, and I'm into it. And there comes a point in time in the story where the narrator says the word and stresses it, says the word can't. And I did not say that. I did not stress the word can't.
So that
I
ass
stressed another
the
yes.
Mm.
And I am mortified
you're
talking
turning
about it right now.
You're turning.
I could not believe that came out
Did
of
they
my
hear?
mouth.
Oh,
Yeah. I was so taken aback and shocked. I just looked up and I went, please excuse me for a moment. And I hightailed it out
So
of
you
my
left
classroom
it on that word?
as far as, yes, there was no coming back after that.
That is not
I
funny.
am embarrassed. I'm embarrassed right now.
So tell me how you do come back from that.
I just walked back in and they were very polite. They were like,
And I'm sure you were extremely apologetic. Or were you even able to apologize?
I picked up the story again and I said and I was grinning. Like, how do you not grin or laugh? And I'm like, I am so sorry. I am so very, very sorry. I don't know where that came from. I hope that you can forgive me. And they just started laughing, which was completely okay. But there's one thing that I did not tell you when we were writing these down.
Did you
I
say
did
it again?
it again. It was like years later.
Okay.
No, it was years later.
I was about to say you probably needed to send a note home if it happened to the same class again. I just get you.
That's
I'm sorry.
okay. Oh my gosh. They had fun with it. They know that, I mean, I don't even cuss. I
No.
don't even swear, right? So they knew that it was like a total, how would that not be a mistake anyway? But they were very...
Hold on, I don't see that in here.
What page are you on? 68? Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That one was great.
Yeah. Do you have another one?
I do.
Okay.
So the first year teaching biology here,
Okay.
we always start with atoms and then we move into different types of organisms. And during my first lecture,
I know where this is going. I know right where this is going. You don't have to say anything else. Go ahead.
Do you want me to
Yes, I do. Go ahead.
During the first lecture, now granted, it's my first year teaching biology. It's the first full lecture that we are giving. And in the introductory, why is there a bubble?
It does that every once in a while. I don't know. I've been noticing that. Thumbs up for us.
Maybe on what we're getting ready to say.
Might be. I don't know.
During the introductory slide presentation, it says, Unit 2, Intro to Organisms. And I say, Intro to Orgasms.
What did you do?
I just kept going.
Did you really?
And I'm chuckling, kind of fighting it back like, crap, I just said that to a bunch of teenagers.
What did they do?
I don't know if they actually even really were paying attention.
Oh.
So
There you go.
it made me feel better. So I'm sure some of them are going to look back because they're going to be like, hold on. We were those students. They just don't know which class it was.
Yeah.
Intro to orgasms.
Oh,
Hello,
my
I'm here to
word.
teach health and science.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny.
But we do that, and we're human.
We are.
And
we are. And it also, I think, I don't know. I think I said this maybe even last week. Like, they know if you see me out and about or in town or whatever, what you see in the classroom is what I am authentically me.
Yep.
Right? Because it's the most important piece is that relationship building. And they know, like I had a student today, might have been a handful of them. Maybe it was during advisory. I don't remember. But I was really angry at my 8th period on Wednesday. Okay? And they knew it. Like, they knew I was like.
Were you angry or just frustrated?
I was
angry.
Yeah, because they were being real disrespectful. But the other piece of that is, and they were talking, a student was talking about it during advisory today. The other piece of that, though, is that they know me well enough because I am authentic with them, that they know that I can be irritated with them and let them know that I'm disappointed in them. But at the same point in time, they know that I still love them and
Right.
care about them. And I'm still going to chuckle and laugh with them and swap jabs back and forth with them, type of thing. And that it's not going to chip away at that relationship because they know that
Right.
that I authentically care about them, right? So because of the relationships that are so important that you build in the classroom, when you make faux pas like this, then they laugh because they're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, right?
Or
52 or 30,
whatever.
And I truly believe part of that is because we're around high school people all day long.
I think so.
Part of it anyway. But they're they're forgiving,
Mhm.
which I appreciate.
Yes,
Thank you for being forgiving when I make ridiculous mistakes.
Oh man.
So anyway, I'm sure that there are tons more that I can think of that I have done. We're going to have to start making a list when we do those things.
We are.
We make a list of what our students say.
Which is called beep.
Students say.
We have a running list.
Like the one today. Okay, I'll share that one. I had a student say to another student today, two gentlemen, great people, young
This is not a
people.
shout out either.
No, it's not a shout out. As they were leaving, they said, "You pulled my pants down and put snow up my butt." What? What are you talking? No.
Heather, we're
we
thinking
love
of you. Oh, she's gonna be on next week.
She is. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What'd you say?
I said, what?
Without
That
what?
does not sound romantic.
At least buy me dinner first. I'm glad you didn't say that.
No. I actually said, get your stuff and get out. The bell had rang.
Please leave.
Oh,
Please
my
leave.
word. Parents, you have no idea the conversations that we hear, your sons and daughters.
If we could get away with
man.
if we could get away with earbuds.
Mhm.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. Faux pas.
Faux pas.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any shout outs for this week?
I'll do a shout out to my 8th period because they were a lot better today than they were Wednesday. So thank you very much for that. Yay! Shout out to you.
I want to give a shout out to, and he told me to go ahead and call him by name.
Okay.
And it's really not his name. It's a nickname that I have given him over the since.
Okay.
So his name's Colin with a K.
Okay.
So he had to do his IPS, and how we do it, I don't go through them. I kind of want it to be very natural when I'm watching them present. And so he actually, I don't want to say broke it because that sounds really negative. He announced to his father that he is planning on joining the military and enlisting. So good job. We're so excited for you. I know that was really hard. But yes.
Yeah, he told me about it in class.
Shout
I was
out.
so proud. Shout out.
So good job. Colin with a K.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, anything else?
I don't think so.
Final
Let's get out of here.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It literally
here.
is almost 5
4:58.
4:58.
Okay. So, final bell?
Final bell.
Deuces. Oh,
what are you doing?
Bloopers! You got schooled? Do we read through that?
I do that part.
Okay, you do it.
You got schooled.
Deuces!
End it. Oh, clip off.
Oh, we're not going. Okay. We're testing the micers. I'm having a hot flash. Okay, testing the microphones because of that weird static thing. Oh. That actually feels
Let me wave
really
you
nice.
with my public speaking folder.
Feel like a dog sticking my head out the window. On this episode of You Got Schooled, we are calling this Students Say.
Beep.
Students
Do we
Say.
have something that says beep?
Is there a bleeper? Beep. Shoot, kiss, beat. Just beat it. No one
Let's
wants
dodge.
to beat it. Beep. Is it like dodgeball?
I don't have a slightest.
Do you think they can hear me eating my banana?
Yes.
Just
Testing. Looky block.
thought I
Blocky
could.
block. Welcome. Shakalaka.
Shaka. That has to be an original then.
That is an original. ORIGINL.